So thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video, obviously you feel it was useful, if you enjoyed it. Now let's get into this. So this Thursday we have Demetrius Andrade headlining in Miami, Florida against Luke Keeler. This is for the WBO middleweight world title. Now Thursday night / Friday morning over here, it's a strange night for a card. You know, when you have kind of like the next gen cards and stuff like that Matchroom do, yeah, fair enough, Thursday evening, Thursday night is fine. But this is not, it's not an amazing card, but you know, it's got some decent names on it. You know, that Tevin Farmer Jojo Diaz fight is an interesting fight for me. So the fact they're doing this on a Thursday night, it's a bit strange, but you know, you can't really complain. Like, the only complaint I have is it mean a really early start on Friday morning, but hey, it is what it is. So the fight I want to talk about, the fight that most people, I don't say they're interested in, because there's a YouTuber fight on this card, but the main event, as far as I know, is Keeler versus Demetrius Andrade. Now, I see a lot of people online on the IFL shows, the IFL videos and stuff like this, they really want Luke Keeler to win, and I just got to give a quick breakdown and I'm going to give my prediction on who I think will win this fight. So Luke Keeler, some strengths Luke Keeler has, okay, is that although Luke Keeler, I think he only has something like 4 KOs on his record. I don't know Luke Keeler personally, never met him, but I've been told from people who've sparred him that he is a deceivingly hard puncher. Like, he is a very hard puncher. I remember when I interviewed Spike O'Sullivan, this wasn't on the interview, he actually told me that other than Lemieux, the hardest ever been hit, and this was in sparring, was by Luke Keeler. So Luke Keeler is, you know, big puncher, you know, deceivingly good puncher. Doesn't have the power, doesn't have the record, I should say, the knockout record, I should say, to show it, because he only has like 4 knockouts and something like 18 wins. But there's power there. And I suppose if you're someone like Demetrius Andrade and you see that you're fighting a guy who only has 4 KOs, you could tend to maybe get a bit lackadaisical with your defense. Maybe go in there thinking, you know what, this guy can't really punch, before you've even tasted any of the shots. And maybe you can get surprised a little bit and just, you know, it's kind of how it goes. You could just kind of get surprised to be like, wow, this guy hits a lot harder than people give him credit for. Punching power will be a strength of Luke Keeler, and, you know, physical strength as well, because, you know, he has campaigned a little bit higher. You know, I remember he had a draw not so long ago at 175 pounds. Now, Luke Keeler's constantly said that the draw he had with Adam Jones, Adam Jones is a journeyman, you know, it's not good. He's a journeyman when it comes to fight, though, to be fair, right? He maintains that the reason that was a draw was because I think it was his first fight with Pete Taylor. He fought him at 175 pounds, but he beat Adam Jones prior to that. So he fought Adam Jones twice and he beat him prior to that. So if you're beating him once, you know, then he's a journeyman. Like, Adam Jones is a journeyman. You should beat him again. That's a worry. Another worry I have about Keeler is, you go look at his 2 losses are both to a guy called Tom Doran. One was in Prize Fighter. Fair enough. Prize Fighter doesn't tell you the whole, you know, ins and outs. I know Keeler. I know Kieran Conway. He lost in Ultimate Boxer, same thing. He's a good British level fighter. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're good or bad. 3 rounds, if you start quicker than the other guy, you might not be as good, but you could end up winning. You know, it's just that way it is. So you don't read too much into that. The second fight they had, though, that was, I think, a 10 or 12 rounder, and they had a shootout, it has to be said, but Luke Keeler got wiped out badly by Tom Doran in the second round. And I mean, that was a bad knockout. Tom Doran's not a noted puncher. Tom Doran, in his very next fight, got absolutely destroyed by Chris Eubank Jr. So you're talking in the space of, what, 4 years, give or take? You expect Keeler to go from that to a guy who's not even British level to fighting Demetrius Andrade. Now, Demetrius Andrade, many strengths he has. He can punch a bit. I know he's been winning a lot of his fights late, but I definitely think there's power there if he really decides to, you know, go for it, basically. Very slick, you know, can switch hit, long arms, you know, very slick, good boxer. Demetrius Andrade, Luke Keeler's been making kind of light of the fact that Demetrius Andrade doesn't have any real standout name on his resume. And he's right, he doesn't. You would probably say Vanis Martirosyan, I think he fought a couple of years ago, and that was a split decision, is probably the biggest name on Demetrius Andrade's resume at this stage, which is not... Put it like this, I mean, it's still better than anyone on Keeler's resume. I'm not trying to hate on Luke Keeler by no means, but it is still better than a Conrad Cummings, you know, or a Luis Aries, I think the guy's name was. That fight there where Keeler fought Aries, that was back in Belfast. That fight, although Luke Keeler won it, and he won it, you know, on points, he hurt Aries way worse than Danny Jacobs did. That fight there showed me that Luke Keeler doesn't belong at this level, because Luke Keeler has a very leaky defense. Aries took that fight on reasonably short notice. Stamina didn't look all that good. Prior to that, he was meant to be fighting Gabe Rosado, and I would have picked Gabe Rosado to beat Luke Keeler. So, having said, you know where I'm going with this. I think Demetrius Andrade is going to light Luke Keeler up like a Christmas tree in here tonight, or in here Thursday night. I don't see anything really Luke Keeler can do, because I think Luke Keeler, he can box a little bit, but I don't think his boxing skills are quite there. And, you know, I've seen Luke Keeler go life to death with Irish level guys. You know, when he won his Irish title, he only won it, that was only a couple of years, it was only about 3 years ago. He won that by, I think, a single point over 10 rounds. And people keep harping on about the fact, well, that wasn't Luke Keeler when he was, you know, training 100% of the time. Still, you're essentially talking about a guy whose best win is over Conrad Cummings and maybe Luis Aries. And even then, that was a competitive fight. I don't want to say it was close, it was a competitive fight. Not enough. I don't think Luke Keeler has enough in the tank. I don't think he's got the chin. And I don't think he has the skill. I think Demetrius Andrade is going to light Luke Keeler up like a Christmas tree. And it's a shame we never got to see the Billy Joe Saunders fight, because I rate Demetrius Andrade very, very highly. I really do. I've always rated him highly. The first time I ever really saw him was against, I think, Brian Rose. But the first time I ever really sat down and took note was when I seen him fight a guy called Willie Nelson a few years ago. That was a great performance from Demetrius Andrade. He looked fantastic in that display. And I've always been impressed with him. And I think it's a shame we never saw the Billy Joe fight, because I think he would have beat Billy Joe. And, you know, if that fight was to ever happen again, if we ever got an announcement about that, I'd still pick Demetrius Andrade to win that fight. I think Demetrius Andrade is underrated. And, you know, Luke Keeler's been making, you know, a lot of the fact that maybe he's underestimating Keeler and stuff like that. I don't think Demetrius Andrade is. I think Demetrius Andrade's going to go in there, he's going to light Luke Keeler up. I would be very surprised if this fight goes the distance. You know, I don't think it's going the distance. I think Keeler's going to get stopped in this fight. And that might be unpopular. Some people might say, well, you know, you're from Dublin, he's from Dublin, why aren't you cheering him? I call it like I see it. And it doesn't matter. I know people who watch my videos who know Luke Keeler, they might not like it, but I call it like I see it. I think Luke Keeler's going to get lit up, absolutely lit up this Thursday night. So, you know, those are my thoughts on it, my prediction. I really would be amazed beyond belief. Like, this would be one of those upsets where I would be stunned if Keeler pulls this one off. I don't see it. But those are my thoughts on this. So let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I not giving Luke Keeler enough credit? Let me know what you think down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe of course if you're new, and as always, I will talk to you after.